Let's talk about game three, Seattle and Toronto, shall we? So Toronto spanked up Seattle, and Seattle's still up in the series 2-1. But the Blue Jays finally brought their sticks. Now Julio Rodriguez went off, Kyle Riley went off, but the Mariners didn't have any sticks, 13-4. Toronto finally looked like that team that displaced the Yankees, and they finally woke up. They had gotten shell shocked in game two. But one thing about baseball is one of those sports. The turnaround, what have you, doesn't really matter. And you know what they always say: the series doesn't count till you win on the other person's court or field. So now these teams, so far, we'll see what happens in game four. But Toronto definitely came to play, and they put forth their effort. And, it's got the makings of a 6-7 game series. It's definitely got the makings of it. It should go because I think if you took the best of both teams and the worst of both teams, it's like a hybrid. So I think you can make a case, which way things could go, how they should go. But anyway, very impressive for Toronto to get back all in the mix, to get their thing right. Because I tell you something, everybody's ready to punch into Seattle and Dodger World Series. That's what it's looking like. So we'll see what they has to offer. Again, Toronto's pitching came up, and their bats came alive. That was the key. That was the key. Now they got to take in consideration that Kyle Riley and Rodriguez have been hitting that, rocking that ball on them. So if they can ever get it where they don't have to be into a battle, we'll see how it goes. But I think that, nerves and jitters and everything that's involved, because it's a very big situation, big stage right here. And we still know that Seattle still has the momentum overall, but it'll be very telling what happens in the next game. It was just, Vladimir Guerrero was just a matter of time, and he has to come up big. You have to meet it. They have to meet everything that Seattle's putting out there because there's no tomorrow, and the Mariners can run up the runs on you. So it's a very entertaining American League series. These two teams playing doesn't really shock or surprise me. I think overall they were the two best, and I think that you are seeing some interesting strategic maneuvering going on. But yeah, Toronto has to win, and then they got to try to get it back home, and then and see what happens. So one game at a time. But that was a big display. They came up big, and I just think that while Seattle looks like they have the edge, Toronto plays like Toronto. This series can go 7, and it could be anybody's game. So stay tuned on that. But it was a very thoroughly beat down once they got the bats going. It's like they found lightning in the bottle, and they did what they're supposed to do. Because one thing would have been embarrassing, and interestingly enough, Seattle had scored 13 runs the first two games, so Toronto matched that total. But Toronto themselves had only scored, I want to say, 4, so they've scored 17 in this series. So actually, believe it or not, the series is 17-70 because the Mariners scored 4 last night. So this is why it's a pretty evenly matched series. So, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played, and it will come down to some key at bats and situations. But we got ourselves an interesting series now. It's 2-1 Seattle. It's Toronto 1 game 3. But let me know your thoughts and your takes. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another and share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.